using
so true. You're just like me, bro. You're just like me, for real. You're so just like me. I'm telling you that we're like the same. I'm your friendly neighborhood multimillionaire. We're in this together, my dude. Now, this is the first time we're actually talking about Russell Brand on the channel because I've never actually spoken about this man in my entire life. I know other people have, but I just never felt the need to keep up with him very much. I know he was an actor, voice actor. What I know about him is that I skimmed it from his Wikipedia page, the most important things about him, like how he was in both Despicable Me and Despicable Me 2, the Trolls movie, and my favorite movie of all time, Hops. He also had the Russell Brand show named after him, Russell Brand, and that's basically it. He turned away from making, the greatest movies of all time and being in the greatest roles of all time to being a YouTuber who talks about things like how them are taking things from you and they won't stop because that is bad, and the man and the guys out there will never stop until you are done for what you believe, those things, all the things that you believe, which are bad to them, but good to the rest of us, because that's real and not fake, like what they think. You know what I'm talking about? Of course you do. Anyways, this guy, Russell Brand, who's made a name for himself on YouTube for getting super popular about his conspiracy theories regarding COVID-19. He's been on Joe Rogan. He's a massive conspiracy theorist. He became Diet Alex Jones. Yeah, basically like little Diet Alex Jones. I would say that kind of sums up everything pretty well. That sums up everything relatively well. I can't lie. This man, Russell Brand, who he calls himself a comedian, he does stand up or whatever, all those types of guys. Everybody does stand up these days, okay? The people who we should really be caring about who do stand up? People who are forced to work customer service jobs and stand for no reason. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, my people? Ain't that right, my fellow essential workers? Anyways, with that being said, this man has recently been accused of the big R. You know what I'm talking about. The grape. The big grape. And not just one, not just two, by 5 women have come out to say that this man has committed very heinous crimes against them. Let's read a little bit about it. Comedian and actor, YouTuber, has been accused of rape and sexual assaults between 2006 and 2013, which he denies. Includes claims about his behavior towards women in the workplace conduct over the same period. Brand worked as a radio presenter for the BBC between 2006 and 2008. BBC said it was urgently looking into these issues by the allegations. Channel 4, where Brand also worked as a presenter, announced an internal investigation, although the alleged assaults had not said to have been taking place on BBC or Channel 4 premises. The claims have raised questions about the broadcasters in the wider industry. The Times quoted sources claiming a complaint was previously made to BBC management about the alarming display of aggression and disrespect from Brand. Ooh, you really do hate to see it. I mean, this isn't anything really new from these types of big guys. We see this all the time with people with a lot of power, a lot of clout, using that to be able to abuse women. From Elon Musk asking for a hand job for a horse, to Weinstein asking for you to be assaulted to have a career, to Cosby just simply assaulting. It's not out of the ordinary. Now, I'm not going to say that he definitely did do it. I don't know. I wasn't in the room. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that somebody like Brand that I've seen and from what I've listened to from him makes me I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, he definitely didn't do it, because I don't think anybody definitely knows that he didn't do it, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. Let's take a look a little deeper into some of these allegations, okay? Rape, sexual assault, and emotional abuse. Obviously, these things will be talked about. One woman alleged that Brand assaulted her without a condom against the wall in his Los Angeles home. She says Brand tried to stop her from leaving until she told him she was going to the bathroom. She was treated at an assault crisis center the same day, which Times says it confirmed via medical records. A second woman in the UK alleged that Brand assaulted her when he was in his early 30s and she was 16 and still at school. She alleged he referred to her as the child during an emotionally abusive and controlling relationship. Looking back, she says he engaged in the behavior of a groomer. A third woman claims that Brand had sexually assaulted her while she worked with while she worked with him in Los Angeles. She alleged that she repeatedly told Brand to get off of her, and when he eventually relented, he flipped and was super angry. Said he had threatened legal action if she told anybody about what happened. The fourth woman who alleged to be assaulted by Brand in the UK and him being physically and emotionally abusive towards her. One allegation is with a minor. Yeah, that's true. Well, in the States, it would be a minor. A lot of what the conservatives are running with is that you can't call him like PDF or anything, because in the UK, like a 30, 40-year-old man can do whatever he wants basically to a 16-year-old, and it's actually fine. Now, I'm going to tell you this. No matter what the law says, if true, from what we've read so far, if you're hunting down 16-year-olds and calling them the child in order to have sex with them, you belong in prison. I hate to say it, but like, I hate to say that I hate to say it because I actually love to say it. You belong in prison. Like the weakest moral defense. Yeah, whenever now the conservatives are like, well, but it's legal to do the assault. So, okay, like horrible things that you can do as a human being are okay as long as they're legal. What are you saying, man? Think for a second. But there's more. There's more allegations. Other claims made as part of the investigation related to Brand's alleged controlling, abusive, and predatory behavior and inappropriate behavior in the workplace. During the years covered by the allegations, Brand had various high-profile jobs at different times, including BBC, Radio 2, and Channel 4, and as an actor in Hollywood films. His attitude towards women was an open secret in radio and TV production, sources told the Sunday Times. It alleged that Brand would undress in the studio while working as a presenter on BBC and Radio 6 Music. Dispatch has also said Brand made sexual remarks on air about a newsreader, which he later implied he had been told by BBC production staff to apologize for. This guy is such a fucking menace that he has to be compelled to say sorry for like abusing women. I don't know, it's at some point in time you become rich enough, and I'm not sure if it's just you become rich enough or this is just who you are at like in your like just as a human being, and just being rich gives you the opportunity to step on more people. But there comes a point where these people just honestly, you get enough money, you get enough clout, and you think you literally rule the world. Like the world just belongs to you and you can literally do whatever you want at any point in time to any human being, as long as they have slightly less clout than you at all. That's why these types of stories are important. And that's why coming out in force and with multiple people are important, because if you don't, people like Russell Brand will just bowl over any type of argument to say that he's perfectly fine. He'll just call it off on all of his fans and people who like him, and his political takes, especially on the right, will just say that, oh, it's all fake, it's not real. I'm still telling you that if Jeffrey Epstein was a conservative firebrand populist talking head who went on Tucker Carlson and told it how it is with Donald Trump 24/7, then conservatives would tell you that the whole like Epstein Island, a child trafficking ring, was all like a lie made up by Soros and the swamp and the big government to tear another God-fearing American patriot down. I'm telling you, it would happen every single day. Don't tell them to do that. They're part of the problem. They are. You're right. But don't worry. But wait, there's more. As part of a phone conversation broadcast on his radio program, oh no, it is written by British people. They write programmee. Brand offered to bring a female employee with him to meet Jimmy Savile, and agreed at Savile's request that she be naked. Nice one. Human beings are just toys, allegedly, to him. Brand's personal assistant claims that she saw him showing friends intimate photographs of women. Two former crew members on Big Brother's E-Forum, the show, claimed that they felt like they were working as a pimp for Brand. This kind of is with the same character as requesting that she be naked, things along those lines, forcing like women that work under him to do like sexual acts for him, basically. Seems the same. seems to be in the same vein of this type of behavior. So it's like, if true, this is building a profile that gives a lot of credibility to this type of stuff. A runner says Brand flashed his penis and insinuated she could give him oral sex when she walked into his dressing room. A female comedian claims Brand chased her backstage and chased her backstage and bit her face when they giggled together. Continuing, she made it clear that she felt uncomfortable. What would you do if you're having a little giggle and then this man comes to bite your face? Honestly, I wouldn't know how I don't know how I'd react. I'd be very scared in that moment. My fight or flight would go off and I couldn't know if I'd start swinging or like crawl into a ball. I can't tell. You never know until you're in the situation. Time to square up. So those, ladies and gentlemen, are the allegations. Pretty terrible. Now, once again, I don't know if this is true. I don't know if he actually did it. I can't tell. I'm not the women, and I'm not the people, and I'm not any of the people who are in the room, and I don't have clairvoyance. But what I can tell you is that if he did do it, he's been leaving a little trail for his type of behavior that would make it relatively understandable for where this came from. And it didn't just come out of nowhere, as a lot of conservative talking heads would like to make you believe that it is. Just like how he was on stage and made a funny meme about assaulting a woman.
Oh, also, I raped someone once.
All right. Mr. Comedian Man. Hilarious. Unfunny men be like, I'm ready to tell a joke. Sexual assault.
But yeah, you know, you got the insecurity.
I killed her after.
Classic British dry humor, ain't it?
All things are ultimately energy, vibration, frequency. That's sexual vibration. Don't do that, I don't think, in front of children. Jury's still out, is it? Do we know?
But back to the ancient Greeks, they'd have said that's all right.
They didn't mind it. They was clever, weren't they? Coming up with triangles every few seconds. I've done another triangle. Little kid. Oh, this is great. Kid with a triangle. Hey, that's too much.
Crazy. Cool stuff. Very, very interesting, Mr. Brand. Very interesting, Mr. Brand. Is this guy a threat to the establishment? This goofball, just so you know, is the greatest threat to the establishment that the deep state has ever experienced. Just so you know, he's speaking truth to power in a way that no one can stop until they stopped him by having women be around him at any point in time. Honestly, listen, a lot of conservatives will try to tell you that like their downfall can be attributed to like, thank you, Marjorie, the feds or leftists or cancel culture. Listen, if you really want a conservative to like their career to downfall, all you need to do is like place women anywhere within like a 50-foot radius of them at any point in time while they're like, yeah, just kind of period, and just wait. And then I promise you that their downfall would come. They're going to act up. They can't help it. It's like putting a kid in a room with like a stack of Oreos on a plate. Know what I mean? They actually can't resist it. They have to do assault. They can't help themselves. It's like mice with cheese or rats it's like rats with cheese or moths to a flame. Or conservatives to children, you know, it's just like one of those things that you actually can't stop them. What do right-wing people do to defend this stuff? It's like an in-group type thing. They actually don't care. None of them actually care about sexual assault. None of them genuinely do. Like in many instances, some of these people are actually literally pro-assault or can hand wave assault because something else is like worse to them. Assaulting women is nowhere near the top of the list of like conservatives' concerns unless they get conservative enough that now the only time when they care about assaulting women is when like they're white and like brown people do it. And so that would reduce the breeding stock for white men, leading to less white babies in general. right? Or like they think of it as like an attack on their race. And in that instance, some of them don't even care about assault because they think like the leftist ones deserve to be like assaulted, so they think it's funny anyways. And this isn't even just like I'm not talking in a sort of like Democrat versus Republican thing, because I couldn't care less about that. People like Bill Maher believe something like this. Bill Maher will easily joke about women being assaulted if he believes that they're like politically different enough for him to like deserve the assault, or he can like laugh about it or crack a joke about it or something. They actually simply don't care. Like assault is not something that's high on their list of their worries. And if it is, it's like doing more of it. Honestly. I mean, I've showed you this before. I'm going to show you it again. This tweet by large conservative talking head Jake Shields, where his literal opinion, unironic opinion, is someone breaks into your house, you should be able to rape them. These people literally are looking for more political excuses for you to rape people. They I'm not going to say they like rape, but they don't care about it that much. It's just not something that worries them very, very much at all. They don't, and then they wonder why women don't want anything to do with their like movements or them themselves when they believe these types of things about them. The guy is just pro-rape. Listen, they almost all are. They actually almost all are. And I mean, ever since Dobbs has been overturned, think about it. You've seen it. You've seen it with your own eyes. The conservative child rape propaganda machine has been at full force. Ever since Dobbs has been overturned, conservatives have been pulling out story after story about rape child after rape child having a happy ending because the baby that they were forced to give birth to is one that they don't instantly want to strangle to death the second it pops out the womb. And that's like a feel good story to these types of people about why their politics are good. You can't sit here and tell me that these people genuinely care when they believe stuff like that. They may think that they care. I think that they believe that they care, but I don't think that they actually genuinely care. It's not something that's high on their list of cares. Genuinely. There are things that are more important to them than like women being assaulted, like women being kept in place when it comes to their reproductive status in society. Things like that is more important to them, and it'll always show. Things like political efficacy or people on their side matter more than anything that they could do to man, woman, or child, period. Unless doing that to, unless, you know, like the only listen, okay, a conservative, like a conservative talking head or like big figure can like assault a woman, you know, they sleep. Assault a child, they sleep, sometimes they laugh. Like have consensual sex with a man, and that's where they draw the line. And so that's what they actually care about, and that's why they don't do anything about it, because their values don't align with caring about assaulting people or having sex with people unless they're of the same sex. Then that's something worth dropping them for a lot of the time. Yeah, I mean, Dennis Prager literally wrote a whole essay about why he should be able to have sex with his wife even if she says no, simply because she agreed to being his wife, and so he deserves the coochie at all points in time of the day, no matter what she says, because like giving up the pussy is her wifely duty. It's crazy. Yeah, conservatives' biggest worry these days is how they can't say the N-word. So yeah, obviously assaulting women and children comes low on the list of their genuine concerns. And if you think things couldn't get any worse for a friend of the stream, Russell Brand, don't worry, it does, because then another woman came out and he had to postpone all of his live shows indefinitely because, Mr. President, a fifth allegation has hit the brand. It did. It really did. It 100% did. Earlier today, London's Metropolitan Police announced they were investigating another accusation, this time from 2003, where they did not mention Brand by name. We're aware of the reporting by the Sunday Times and Channel 4 dispatches about allegations of sexual offenses. A Met spokesperson told CNN on Sunday, September 17th, Met received a report of sexual assault which alleged to have been taken place in Soho in central London in 2003. Officers are in contact with the woman and will be providing her with support. Listen, this is Britain, so I don't really think very highly of them caring about women. I mean, just think back to Andrew Tate. But I mean, at least they're like pretending to do something. We'll see if anything comes from this. I hope so, at least. If true. A joint investigation from the Times and Channel 4 report that 4 women accused incidents from 2006 to 2013, and another woman who was 16 at the time alleged assault as well on this guy. And with that being said, not only has Russell had to postpone and stop his shows, YouTube has also stopped giving money to his channel, which I think is great. Now, these things don't always last, but I just think right-wing provocateurs who make money off of making society worse, not being able to profit from that, is a good thing for society in general. And like I said, these things don't always last, because I believe Matt Walsh actually got his funding back for his channel. Actually, YouTube reinstated his monetization for some ungodly reason, but he's the same Matt Walsh, so the likelihood of that being taken away again in the future is high, and I pray for that every single day. And you know, and many other things, but that's neither here nor there, nor appropriate for stream at the moment. Ew, YouTube bad. Yeah, just when you think that you want to praise them for doing a good thing, they turn around and make it worse. It's crazy how they don't actually care about people, isn't it? I wake up real early in the morning, so I have extra time to be a hater. And so with this being said, I think it's time to get to one thing that I find very interesting, and that's Russell himself talking about everything. Now, you may be wondering why it took me so long to actually get to him speaking, and the reason is because I believe he says almost literally, actually, factually, unironically, nothing. To the point where not even many of the content creators who support him play what he has to say, or very much of it, because he actually says nothing. And don't believe me, believe him. Take a listen.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received 2 extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream...
I hate to be the one to say it, but this guy does look like he would die in a shootout with the police while holed up in a home where his cult, who breeds new children for him to put babies in, has been found by the FBI. Life has many doors, Fed boy. He looks like British Waco. I guess Soho. Sure, something along those lines. Like Waco. Yeah, he looks like Jared. He looks like an older, more failed Jared Leto. You know what I mean?
Mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff like my community festival should be...
This guy looks like he would lose his entire savings on a trip to Nevada to take an ayahuasca trip, only to get fleeced and become homeless for the next 3 months. Panhandling on the streets of Phoenix.
Stop, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then. The relationships I had were absolutely always consensual.
Did you see that? Why did it cut there? That's so weird. That is so interesting. Do you see that weird ass little cut?
Extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual.
This meme is very real.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this. Making these types of edits in a video like this does not do you any justice. It's not like an admission of guilt, but it looks really weird that you can't get out a full sentence in one cut that you had consensual sex with women. You know, it's like walking into church and catching on fire. There's like something wrong going on here. What did he say before the cut? Wait, was it one of these moments? Wait a second.
We would have an annual threat hearing, and my ranking member would always be bringing up white supremacy, which, you know, I condone. I mean, I condemn.
Well, was it one of those type of situations where little Freudian slip? White supremacy, in which I condone. Oh, I mean, I condemn. All of the sex that I have had with women, I've made sure to be very unconsensual.
I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well.
Really?
And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play?
So true. Because I disagree with what people are saying about me. It must be an elaborate attack to destroy me. Like Russell Brand, like sure he has a lot of followers and everything, but like he's not like the largest content creator ever. Like sure he's making videos and they're getting between like little under like the 700,000 to 400,000 views. Sure. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of views. I'm not going to lie. It isn't, but he's not like the most insane poster. He's not at the forefront of all of these things. Like his name very rarely comes up in a lot of these types of talking points. So I just find it very weird to think that this guy would be the one who'd be targeted with this type of stuff. I think like instead of it mostly being him being targeted is that he's just a bad person. I think that's more likely than him being targeted. Now, I don't know if like he did do it, but I'm just saying that like everybody wants to go to it's them trying to take me down for saying things that they don't like. And it's always so vague and it's always so weird and there's never any proof for it. But there's like, it seems like there's a medical record of like a girl that he's been with getting a rape kit after he's like spent time with her. And in the same timely manner that he said, in the same time frame that he said he was being, in quote, very promiscuous. Like that's a bad look, buddy. I'm going to tell you, and I'm not sure if The Matrix is like saying The Matrix over and over again is going to save you from that. And by that, I mean jail.
Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan, when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of.
But they just coordinated takedowns? Like, did they make something up about him? I'm pretty sure they just said what he said. And then they said it was, and then like they implied that it was bad. And then they brought on experts and they said that it was wrong. It's all, yes, everybody's always coming after me because I'm so cool and I'm so epic and everything I say is against them. And so that's why they don't like me and us.
We saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys...
Yeah, they're talking about the same thing. Of course they're using the same language. What are you talking about? Yeah, they're always using the same language like Joe Rogan and then said this and then did that. Can you believe it?
Guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out, Russell, they're coming for you, you're getting too close to the truth. Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago there was a spate of articles. Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist. Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using
so true, you're just like me, bro. You're just like me, for real. You're so just like me. I'm telling you that we're like the same. I'm your friendly neighborhood multimillionaire. We're in this together, my dude. It's all a conspiracy against me, I promise. I'm so cool. I'm so epic. They're trying to take me down. Listen, like I said before, what I think is more likely than somebody trying to take him down and stop him from speaking his truth or whatever, I think he's just more likely than not just a horrible human being. He's just a horrible human being who's just very excited by the opportunity to abuse women when he gets the opportunity to. Now, I don't know. That's just simply my opinion. And I'm allowed to have that opinion. But from what I've seen, I want to know more about what comes out. I want to know more about what he did and did not do. And if what he didn't do is like get consent and what he did do is like try to hunt down 16-year-olds to have sex with, I think a lot of conservatives who are defending him are going to have a lot of explaining to do. And that's what we're going to be talking about here next. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.